So they get a full salary that is market related for being in, a graduate program. You can get the theory and the technical acumen from your university. So you are qualified to do this. But it changes in the practical. And the best way, in my opinion, to learn the practical is within a corporate environment. They get promoted to junior developers and they grow within the organization. Going back to my example of having individuals who are still in our organization for 15 years who started in this grad program.
Welcome to ITWeb TV. Today we are joined by Lebo Mosola, who is internal recruiter at Dariel. Welcome to ITWeb TV, Lebo.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Lebo, before we start our interview, if you can just tell us what is Dariel Software. I understand it was recently acquired by Capital Appreciation. How is the company fitting into the holding company?
Yes, so Dariel in itself has been in existence for over 22 years. We are a software company. We pride ourselves of bespoke software solutions. We do quite a bit from software development, integration, digital acceleration. We do a lot of tech consulting. And yes, you are correct. We've recently been acquired by Capital Appreciation and blending very well into the group. Of course, it is still something new. So there's a lot of getting to know one another, getting to know meetings, but there's already been such incredible collaboration around the different brands, and I think we are fitting in quite perfectly.
Great stuff. Going back to our main discussion today, which is about recruitment of the new generation kind of employees who are finding their way into the workplace. I understand you are an internal recruiter at Dariel. If you can just describe to us the biggest trends that you are noticing in the industry in regards to the recruiting of these younger generation.
So I think one of the very first things that is obviously very noticeable, right, is the Gen Zs have got a very strong opinion of what it is that they want to do. They are no longer conforming. There's so many opportunities out there for the Gen Zs, but not only that, just tech as a whole, and they know exactly where they want to fit in. So things like wanting a better work-life balance, wanting a flexible environment, wanting to join an organization that's got like a good culture, that's not too rigid, is more in line with what it is that they are looking for. Times have significantly changed over the past 5 years, and you need to be an organization that is adapting to that change if you want to have a broader, more diverse generation within your organization.
So does this tie in with the trends like working from home? Do they want to come to the office? Or?
So now this ties in with the kind of culture you have within your organization. So of course, at Dariel specifically, what we have is a hybrid model. A hybrid model allows different kinds of people to have their certain, luxuries. So there are people that prefer to work in the office, and we allow them to do so. Our office is open Monday through to Friday. We make our office a place that you want to come to. So it's a very cool office. Like if you come to Dariel, we've got a pool table, a foosball table. We've got breakfast out for our staff every morning. So it is a welcoming environment. And also we hire individuals that, especially Gen Zs, are still so passionate about this industry, are wanting to grow. So they usually don't mind coming into the office every once and again. But the reason why we felt hybrid is better for us is that you can appeal to two different kinds of people at the same time. So our development teams have got autonomy as to perhaps what days they want to come into the office. Obviously, because of our projects are different. They've got different demands, right? You might find that project one, there's a lot of face-to-face interaction with the client. So everyone working on that particular project might be doing more face-to-face interaction as opposed to a project that is very streamlined, that has been going on for a while, where the communication barriers between us and the client are sort of like set, Those ones come into the office perhaps once or twice a week, but it's really good to see the energy in the office when, people are around. We've got quite a number of people who actually frequent the office.
But is it a challenge for, like, if I can put it this way, what is the biggest challenge that organizations face when they are recruiting this Gen Z into the workplace?
I think as an organization, you need to be able to adapt to the change. So if you are, the type of company that enforces a rigid environment, you might have a tougher time because they don't fit into that mold. Your older generations might, but even they are starting to see the benefits of having a more flexible work-life balance. At Dariel, we take things like that very seriously, work-life balance. We have got our HR manager, Alison Palmer, who leads from the front, and it's always a very big thing for her to ensure that the mental health of our developers do not suffer. So we have got an organizational psychologist who is Joshua Moles, and he's part of the talent team. But together with Alison, along with, a lady that we frequently call on to, who is a psychologist, who is there to help us in situations where perhaps we don't get things, right all the time. They add that influence, they add that different perspective. And as long as we particularly make sure that our developers and our people stay the center of what it is that we do, it eliminates those challenges, because then you are able to adapt to the new way of doing things. But we're very careful not to steer too far away from what we know, because you also don't want to lose the individuals who are already working here, the individuals who are, seasoned at Dariel, people who've been working for us for 15 years. You don't want to make them feel like this is a completely different organization. You just need to go with the times, and how you navigate that is crucial.
And these guys who have been there for some time, of course, these days there are other technologies that are coming, like your AI.
Yes.
I was reading this other report saying there may be a need for reskilling of the individuals who were already are you also doing the same, maybe, Dariel?
So speaking again about Joshua Moles, who is our talent manager, those are one of his responsibilities. So for us, because we've got a very diverse individual at Dariel, coming from different backgrounds, the ones that have been here for much longer need to feel a sense that they're just as important, that they're still as important. So the amount of energy and dedication we have to Gen Zs and getting them upskilled is the exact same effort that we put into our developers and our BAs that have been in our space for 10, 15 years. They don't feel any less than, an individual who has just started. So our talent bouquet is quite broad, and it appeals to everybody. And it's one of the biggest things that Dariel does, and one of the things that I believe we do exceptionally well is the upskilling of our developers, taking someone from this level and taking them to the next. But the things that happen between these two steps are so fundamental. And sometimes you can have all the technical skills that one can have, but maybe lacking in soft skills. So our training and our development is holistic. We want to make you a more well-rounded individual. We want to make you a more well-rounded developer. So although perhaps maybe those that have been around for many, many years are more technically sound and they can mentor the young ones when it comes to that, the Gen Zs bring a little bit of a shift, within the space. Think differently, think out of the box, they challenge the status quo, they're not okay with you just saying that this is the process. You need to be able to explain to them, why is this process in place and does it make sense? And I think their voice is very important in that it does make you step back and think, is there ways that we can do differently? But not steering too far to that side that your older generation or your generation that's more seasoned feels like there's no longer space for them.
And also, I understand Darius got this graduate program. If you can just take us through this graduate program, when did you start it and who qualifies to join this program, and maybe how many individuals are already participating in this program?
Okay. So our grad program has been around Dariel for many, many years. In fact, these very same seasoned individuals that we talk about that have been with us for 15 years started as Dariel grads. So we've got a grad program. It runs every year. And usually the way that we do it is because Dariel really believes in accelerated growth. And what that means for us is we don't believe that a particular individual needs to stay in one position for a dragged amount of time just because. If you take the training and the development that is given to you and you start elevating yourself and your skills, you're more than qualified to move on to the next level. So our grads remain graduates just for that year, and they soon get promoted into junior developers. So what happens is usually applications open around April of every single year, and we do thorough checks and interviews. And we make sure that we open a very wide net to have people within the comp sci, IT degrees, making sure that they align with what we do at Dariel Software Development. Graduates don't have a niche yet, so they don't know exactly which avenue of software development they want to get into. So we groom them in-house and we train them in the ways that we do things, in the kind of projects also that we get exposed to. It's nice to grow those kind of individuals from the ground up. And we often refer to it as, drinking the Dariel Kool-Aid. Our developers, particularly the grads, have a better opportunity at drinking that Dariel Kool-Aid because we are their first example of what an organization looks like. We are their first example of what corporate looks like. So you're nurturing this egg to being something that it is that you want to be. So it's a very crucial role that we play at Dariel, and we're very passionate about our grad program. And I'm glad that, it's gotten a lot of success and the market can see the success. We have got some very, very successful senior developers, architects who started off as graduates, and that in itself is a success story.
Interesting. Just to have a sense of how many are you looking to recruit like this year?
So it changes depending on what the company's needs are. I believe that in February of this year, we are starting with about 20 grads. Last year, it was just over 20. So we go into a new year with a set number depending on what the strategy of that particular year is. So it does change, but it does open in April, and we pretty much have a very wide net. If you've got a comp sci degree, you can apply. If you've got, information systems degree, you can apply. And then we do vigorous, interview processes to ensure that we land with the best possible 2018 for Dariel.
Awesome. And do they get like a stipend?
Yes, they're salaried. So it's not a stipend, it's salary.
Okay.
So they get a full a salary that is market related for being in a graduate program. And I think some of those successes is when we teach our grads, we don't just teach them the technology. These are individuals who come from school. They don't know much about what corporate is. So what makes our grad program significant is that we also teach them, what financial planning is. So we get in a financial advisor who comes in and coaches them about what is life insurance. Why do you need life insurance? Medical aid, beneficiaries. What is the definition of a beneficiary? Do you just put your best friend that you live with as a beneficiary? Do you know the implications of that? So we've got a very personal touch when it comes to that particular grad program.
Cool. So do you work with certain universities, or it's just anyone can just...
Pretty widespread, anybody. So anybody can apply from whatever university. We don't opt out of any universities. Soon after the grad program is ready to launch for new applications, we do our tours from the major Gauteng universities. So we will visit your UJ, we'll visit your WITS, we'll visit your University of Pretoria, etc. But, look out on our website. We usually have our career days posted on there, but also the link that says we are live now accepting new grad applications is on there. We're very big on our social media, so it won't be hard to notice, to find that we are now open for grad applications.
So in the event that they've completed this year-long graduate program, will they be absorbed into Dariel, or they are free to also look for other employment opportunities outside Dariel?
Look, I mean, you can't force someone to stay, right? They definitely are absorbed into the organization, but just in any organization, you have people who pursue other opportunities. But I can say 90%, 98% of our graduates they get promoted to junior developers and they grow within the organization. Going back to my example of having individuals who are still in our organization for 15 years who started in this grad program, So we foster the grad program to be one where it's such an easy transition for you to get into being a junior developer. In the grad program, the way that you are challenged, the way that you are molded, the way that you are exposed, to, the latest tech, but also our projects. You get a piece of the pie that you're responsible for, that that this little piece of the pie that I've been given is going to have a direct effect on the positivity of this project being deployed. We give them that sense of responsibility at the onset. So when they transition into junior developers, there's nowhere else that they want to do that but at Dariel, because of the support that they receive, because of the exposure. Now, you've wet their palate a little bit. They're more intrigued, they're more excited, and that's how you retain talent across the board. You keep them excited. You keep them, stimulated. You constantly introduce new ways of doing things, new technologies. Our grad program will always be successful because of that.
Also, since you are working with these kids that are just maybe coming straight from the universities, do you think our local universities are doing enough to actually equip these students with the right skills, like for the corporate world, if I can put it that way?
I believe that our universities are doing the best of their ability. And in fact, our tech degrees are well sought after in the European market, international market. So we've got very good degrees when it comes to, the IT field. And I'm not taking anything away from that. But I think there's something that universities would not be able to teach that a corporate institution can. So that is where grad programs become very important. You can get the theory and the technical acumen from your university, so you are qualified to do this, but it changes in the practical. And the best way, in my opinion, to learn the practical is within a corporate environment. You want to become a software developer within a software development house, where you get that on-the-job training, because sometimes we do have grads that say, this is so different from what we learned. We understand the theory behind it, but the practical is just so mind-blowing. You get what I'm saying? So that is something that universities are perhaps not able to do. But from the theory part, what they are teaching is proven to be very valid, because our graduates are very well sought after in the international market. Perhaps, of course, the universities can also go with the times. So you've mentioned, artificial intelligence already. Incorporate that as a module. It's very important that these kids get to understand what it is, how it fits into the South African market, so that they're not too far behind when entering the corporate environment.
Great stuff. So any success stories about these graduates that you can share, maybe?
Sure. Look, this is what I deem a success story, right? So we often have developers who come and go, right? And that's just the normal lifespan of any individual at any organization. But what I always find to be quite nice is people who go and they venture out into this international market. They often come back to Dariel. So it's almost like coming back home. And that proves to me that we're doing something right. Now, these are individuals who've been with us for years, who started with the grad program, who know Dariel in and out, who know our values, who understand our values, who drank the Dariel Kool-Aid from the onset, are now coming back, and they are now the ones who are teaching our grads, different modules. They are the ones now who are imparting serious knowledge in our graduates. And, people like, Alison Palmer, Musi Tabete, who've been at Dariel for such a long time and have held the Dariel grad program with their bare hands. They look at those stories and it's like a 360-degree turn. I remember you being so timid coming into Dariel knowing nothing, and look at you now, a senior developer imparting knowledge in new grads. It's something very, very special to see.
So is it only about software development, or you also teach?
Currently, at the moment, our grad program is just within the software development space.
Awesome. Any plans to expand it, maybe?
I mean, look, with CTA being recently being acquired by CTA, I think the possibilities are really endless. And I don't think that Dariel shies away from any challenges, any opportunities. We're always ready to reinvent the wheel. So never say never. Yeah.
So maybe looking into this year, what plans do you have for this graduate program? And also maybe if you can just tell our viewers, like, how can they apply? How do they get hold of you if they are so interested also in joining this program?
So I'll start with that application process. So as soon as we go live with accepting new applications, it will be on our website, which is www.dariel.co.za. It is also on our Instagram page. It will be posted on there, which is just Dariel_SA. But also LinkedIn as well. You can follow myself, Lebo Mosola, on LinkedIn. But follow Dariel on LinkedIn. It's very important because a lot of stuff that we post is up on there. That is where that application will be launched as well. So if you just take a look at our social media, you won't miss it. It'll definitely be there, number one. And then obviously towards your question about what our grads can, expect this year, I really don't want to give too much away, but I can say it is exciting. We've reinvented a couple of things this year, and I believe that we're going to have such incredible success stories. I would just say keep your eyes glued to what Dariel has to offer in this 2024. I really don't want to give away the beautiful nuggets that this grant program is going to do, but call me back perhaps towards the end of this year, and I'm going to have quite a lot to tell you about success stories, about how we've changed things around for these particular grads and the success it's brought.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Lebo. That was Lebo Mosola, who is the internal recruiter at Dariel. As you heard from here, I'll be going to Dariel at the end of the year. Hopefully, there will be a lot of success stories to talk about at the end of the year. Definitely. Thank you so much, Lebo.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Nice studios. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. For these and more stories, you can subscribe to our ITWeb TV channel.